The power button to turn on the FLIR camera is at the top. You just need to press it once. If you're turning it off, you need to hold it down for about 10 seconds. If you hold it down for less than 10 seconds, it will enter a hibernate mode instead of fully turning off. After turning on the thermal camera, you should let it wait for 10 to 15 minutes before actually using it if you want the best possible data. That will allow it to stabilize. So here on the screen, you can see on the right we have the scale bar, which shows the temperature. On the top left, we have the temperature measurement, which is shown by that little marker. This little button will open up the menu, and the buttons around it will allow you to move through the menu. So you can see we can change the measurement to find the hottest spot in the center of the screen. We can also switch it to the coldest spot, or simply the center, or even no measurement at all. We can also adjust the color scheme to several different options. Above alarm will highlight everything above a certain temperature, and below alarm will highlight everything below a certain temperature. We can also adjust the temperature scale. The auto is normally sufficient, but you can make it a manual scale if you wish. Under settings, measurement parameters is important for the best possible data. Emissivity is the most important one. That is a ratio of the amount of IR light reflected to the amount of IR light emitted by a material. So for the best possible data, we want to put in the emissivity of our material. And on the FLIR, we actually have a table of several different options, including a list of materials with emissivities for each one that we can select. Reflected temperature is pretty much going to be ambient temperature. Then distance is the distance between the camera to your object. In our setup, that's closest to 0 meters because the distance goes in increments of 1 meter. So those are all the settings for the camera itself. We can't actually save any pictures on the camera because it doesn't have a memory card. To save pictures or videos, we need to open up the software on the computer. So once it pulls up this screen, you'll click Connect to Live Stream, which will bring up the camera feed on the computer. So you can see on the camera screen, there's no longer any settings on there. So over here, we now have all the same settings. We can switch the color scheme to several different presets. We also have more measurement varieties. We can put spot measurements wherever we want just by selecting on the screen. We can also create a box, and it will give us the hottest and coldest point of that box as well as an average temperature within it. There's also an oval circle tool, which does the same thing as the box, but if in an oval or circle, and a line as well, which will give us the hottest and lowest temperatures in a line. And you can remove those just by clicking on them and hitting delete. To plot that, you want to right click on a measurement and hit plot, and it will show up at the bottom. So with box measurements, when you go to plot, you can select either the max, the min, or the average temperature within the box to plot. So you can see all of that is now down on the graph. So in this little target shaped button on the left will calibrate the camera. It also calibrates itself periodically if it detects a big temperature change. The little red dot will start a recording. This blue pause will pause the live screen. The camera will take a picture, and this button will open up the video settings. So this is really important because you have to open up the settings to select which folder it will save to. Please be sure to do this before saving any videos or photos so that you save it to your own folder. So now I'll go ahead and start a recording, and that will record just the screen here. It won't record the plot. You can see that little red marker timestamp at the top. I'll go ahead and stop the recording. You can see at the very bottom down there, I have it saved now. And I can open it up again later to look at the recording. So you can see the video here. It shows my measurement and the screen, but not the plot. Now this of course will be in their own special video file format. To export this video and use it on your own software, you'll need to use this button down here, which will export as a .avi video file. So then that will also include options to check for measurement, which will show you the measurements on there, and the temperature at the top left, and scale bar, which will put the scale bar at the right of your video. So here's a video I already took, where you can see an example. That is what the measurements looks like at the top left, and on the right you can see what the scale bar looks like. So then some more stuff about plotting. If you right click on the graph, you can change the plotting method to different types of lines. You can also copy a screenshot of your plot or copy the data to your clipboard. There's no option to export data as a CSV file. You can also clear the plot, which will let you start it from scratch. Right here on this little menu, we can also switch off of the live stream. If we switch to video, then that will return control to the camera itself, and we will see the screen exactly as it would be on the camera. Down to that, we can switch back to the signal option, which will return the live stream. And that is our demo for the thermal camera today. I hope you all enjoyed it.